Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I am Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today I'm going to be talking about products that I've panned and also why I don't participate in project pan projects or project panning or anything like that. Now I do have some notes here just so I don't ramble, because you all know I can do that and I really don't want to. I really want to keep this video focused and not make it too long. But I will just say I have been more recently becoming fascinated, I would say maybe a little bit more fascinated with project panning and the panning community and project pan videos, and just the idea behind using up products and really using what you have rather than just spending and buying new stuff and never using up what you have. And I had been requested, I think, a few times over the last couple of years about doing project panning, and I think I did it once. I don't know if I did it here on YouTube. I think I just did it on my blog. It was like a finish 5 by fall kind of thing. Maybe I did do that here on YouTube. I don't remember. It's been a bit. But I had been requested a few times in the past about doing project pan, and I've always thought about doing it, but then I just never went for it. And so I just want to talk a little bit about why. It's not that I'm against it or that I won't ever do it in the future, but I just want to talk about why I don't really do project panning, and then I do want to share some of the products that I have panned. Just so you guys can see, I do use up products, I do pan products, I just don't make it a mission. So I'm going to share that for those who are interested in seeing products that I have panned, because I do feel like it speaks a lot about the products you've panned. It means you've used it enough to have a good idea, review on it, or thought on it. It means that possibly it's a good product. It says a lot, so I will be sharing those products that I have panned. But first, I do want to go in and talk about why I don't do project panning. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a quick peek at my notes and then let you guys know. So okay. I knew I would forget some of this stuff. So I wrote down, I'm a make it last kind of person, and this is so true. Let me just read it. If I like something, I don't want to run out, and especially if it's expensive, I really want to use it sparingly. I actually get really sad if I'm running out of something and don't have a backup of it. So I'll use things sparingly and alternate products a lot, or save products just for special occasions. Like if I really like it but it's expensive, I'll save it for just special occasions when I'm going out, if I have an event. If there's something and I really want my makeup to look the best, then I'll do that. I wrote this down too. And I said I'm funny in a way that if I hit pan on something, and this is just, it's so weird, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but if I hit pan on something, I'll actually stop using it, or that's when I go to slow down way a lot to using it. Now let me just touch back on a few of these things and these reasons. So what I feel like, and I could be totally wrong because I don't watch a ton of project pan videos, but I have watched enough to hear these kind of common things in project panning videos and blogs and things like that. But it seems to me that a lot of people who do project panning do it just to use up a product, just to say they've panned something, like just to be like, I've panned this and I've used this up, just to like say that they've used it up. And that isn't, it's not just products that they like. A lot of times it's products that they grow to stop liking, or they get tired of and they don't want to use it anymore, but they do it just to finish it up, just to finish up that product. And I can't do that. If I don't like something, I don't want to force myself to use it just to use it up. I'll either throw it away, get rid of it somehow, or give it away, gift it to someone, or maybe even pass it on to my daughter or something like that. But I like things to last. Like the idea, like I already mentioned, the idea of running out of something, especially something I like, makes me sad. So I don't want to say I'm against project panning, but that's kind of like my mindset. That's where I'm coming from and why I don't want to do it. Like say there's a palette that I really love. Some people will do a project pan on it because like, I love this palette, so I want to make sure I use it and I want to pan it. And I think that's great, but for me, the idea of doing that makes me sad. I'm like, I don't want to use this up. I mean, I do want to use it, and I think it's smart to incorporate products that you love and make sure you're really loving on them and using them. But the idea of doing it just to use it up, like, and I know that's not just the idea, but to me, that's what it feels like. I'm like, I don't want to use this all up. I don't want it to be gone. Like, I want it to last. Like, I want to be able to have this for a long time, and I just get weirdly attached, I think, to things. It's really not that important or whatever, and you could also always just repurchase, but I don't know, I'm just that person, like, I don't want to repurchase it, like, I want to just have this. So that's kind of like why I don't do project panning, and like my kind of thought on it, and it's kind of weird because you think like life's too short to alternate products when you really love one product and you want to keep using it. Like I said, I will sometimes stop using a product if I've panned it because I'm like, oh, I need to like save it, I need to not use it because it's gonna run out. Like, that's kind of silly too. So I know it's silly both ways, but that's just kind of my mindset, and that's why I don't, like, I'm not super hardcore like yes, let's pan this, and because I just think like, okay, I pan this, especially if it's an expensive product, I've used this up, now I love it so much I have to go and purchase another one, and it's expensive and I don't want to spend that money. I think that's another big part of it. It's like, it's expensive, and I don't want to have to be like, okay, I gotta go repurchase this $50 product or this $40 product, and it's like, and I get so much. The other thing is, I think a big part of it, which I'm gonna say, is because I receive so much for free, it's hard for me to justify buying new product when I'm like, okay, I just got this new foundation, so now like I can't justify buying my favorite foundation because I have this other one that I should use up and I should be trying and stuff like that. So that's another aspect of it, that like I receive so much product to try that I feel like I should be using a lot of it instead of purchasing more, even if it's purchasing more of something I absolutely love. That doesn't mean I won't purchase more of something I love or use all the time, but that hinders me. So that's kind of where I'm coming from and why I don't do project panning. But I could probably ramble on and on and on about that subject and my thoughts and just kind of repeat everything I say, because I do that a lot. So I'm not going to. I'm going to cut it off there. We're going to stop. If you guys want to talk more, continue the conversation in the comment section, I would love to do that. And, you know, share more of my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on my thoughts, and I'd love to hear just your thoughts on project panning in general and just panning products in general. Let's talk about this, because I feel like this is a topic that might come up some more. I might do some product panning in the future. I might talk more about product panning in the future. I did mention in another video my glowy skin routine, get ready with me. It was a long old video, 40 minutes long, but I did mention in that video that I had been making it a point to be using products that I've panned, products that I'm almost done using up. Because like I said, when I pan something, I tend to stop using it. I put it away, I'm like, I need to save this. And it's like, that's silly. Just use it, Maria, just use it. So I have been making a point to use those products. So, you know, I mean, we might go somewhere from there. But for right now, that's my explanation to you on why I don't necessarily do those type of videos or do that kind of a thing. So with all that being said, now let's go ahead and get into the products that I have panned. Okay, up first I have 4 items here, and they're all bronzers or contour products. And I think it's so funny when I was looking through all the stuff that I've panned that the majority of the items are bronzer contour products. It's crazy to me. Like I obviously I do go very much so crazy with my contour and bronzer, but looking at this, I'm kind of surprised at myself. So some of these will be a no surprise to you because I've been using them in a lot of videos, but if you're new here, then you know this will be a surprise to you. But anyways, so the first 2 items are kind of like basically the same thing, but I have panned both of these. So let me just do this small one first. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It's just like a deluxe size little sample guide, but I have panned this. I've had this for like a year, and I mean that's how much I've used, so I mean it lasts a long time. And this actually isn't the first sample size of this size that I've gone through. I've had another one that I completely went through and loved it, and so then I had this one. I actually do have another backup of these because I haven't bought anything from Too Faced in a long time, but when I used to, a lot of times they would send these little samples as little extras, and so they go a long way, they really do. And so I do actually have a brand new one of these unopened, but I am working on finishing this one up. Still smells as good, still works as good. This is actually what I have on my face today. I love the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I kind of want to purchase a full-size one just because, I mean, why not? But I do have the sample ones to go through, so I'm not going to. That's why not. But anyways, moving on with that, I also have the Too Faced Cocoa Contour palette that I have completely panned all of the shades except for the Pop of Lights one, and the reason for that is just because it's a glittery highlight. So it's kind of like just like the matte one, which I loved, except for it has glitter in it. And so I just wasn't a fan of using it as a highlight because I like this kind of highlight, where this one's just more like a speckle of glitter or shimmer, and I just didn't love it. But clearly you can see I've totally pretty much used all of the light cocoa shade, most of the medium, and then hit a small pan on the darker one because I only use that one on when I'm really darker in the summer, and it's pretty much a more orange tone, so it only really works for me in the summer. But I've said it before and I'll say it again, I really wish that they would sell these specific shades separately, because I would so buy the light cocoa shade, because it is just, from what I remember, because I've been out of it for a long time, but the prettiest matte highlighter. I would use it to set under my eyes, and it just was so perfect, and I'd use it to kind of go on the bridge of my nose and my T-zone and things like that, and it was just so pretty and perfect. Clearly I loved it because I used it up. It was the first one that I used up. And then I can I like these, but I don't need them, so I don't think I would repurchase this whole entire palette just because I know I won't use that up. I was like, oh, I could always use it as an eyeshadow, but I just never did because I forgot. It's like in this palette, so I have other eyeshadow palettes. I don't think to pull this out for an eyeshadow, but anyway, so I wouldn't repurchase the whole kit because I could always just use the, you know, Chocolate Soleil instead of one of these ones. And I will say that this one is in between these two shades. I feel like if anybody's curious, if you look at it, it's like the in-between. That's a lot more cool tone and fair. That one's more warm and dark. This one's like the perfect in-between shade. And so I would, you know, just keep using this rather than purchase the whole palette, but I would love to just get this one by itself, so I wouldn't have to purchase the whole palette, because it's just, it's my favorite from the palette. So anyways, that was a lot to say about that palette. Clearly I love it. The next one is a bronzer from Becca Cosmetics in the shade Duende or Duende, I don't know, it's D-U-E-N-D-E. I actually don't even think this is available. I feel like maybe it was limited edition, I don't remember, but I've hit pan on it, and it is a shimmery bronzer. I haven't used this in a while because I used to use it mostly in the summer, and then again once I hit pan on it I was like, oh, I better stop using this. So silly. But anyways, I really only use it in the summer because I don't really prefer shimmery bronzers or shimmery contours. I know it's a bronzer, but I use bronzers as contour sometimes. Anyways, I don't prefer that, but in the summer I like a glowy look, so I would use this as a bronzer contour in the summer, and I didn't mind the shimmer. And it's not like too shimmery. I feel like it's matte enough. Like it has shimmer in there, but it's not a lot. So that's why I felt like it just worked for me. I didn't mind it, but I miss this actually. I need to go back to using this in the summer when I'm darker. It's beautiful. And I think that was another reason why, you know, like I said, a fear of mine, like, you know, I have to stop using something when I hit pan on it, is like with that one, I believe is limited edition. That shade is no longer available as far as I know. At least when I hit pan on it, I looked it up and I couldn't find it. So I don't believe it's available anymore. So it always makes me sad. Like I don't want to use up a limited edition item because you can't get it anymore. And it's sad. But anyways, moving on. I have another bronzer. This is the Sunshine in a compact in the shade Warmth, and this is from, it's been through a lot, and actually I just dropped it, not just, but that's why it broke, because I dropped it. But this survived, so that's good. This is another shade that I used a lot in the summer because it is a lot more of a warmer tone bronzer, but it is a matte bronzer. You get a lot in it, and I love it. It was one of my favorites, my go-tos in the summer. Clearly hit a big dent in it and hit pan in it quite a bit. Next up, let's talk about blush. You guys have seen this if you watched any of my tutorials recently. This is the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Rose d'Oro, my favorite shade. It is this like corally rose shade with gold shimmer running through it. I know not everybody likes shimmery blushes, but I do, especially ones with gold. I tried to do a swatch, but it's not really showing up because I'm really like, there's nothing left. But I am wearing it on my cheeks today. You could see I also have a highlight over it as well, but it does give a glowy look to your skin. So if you want to skip highlight, you probably could, because this like doubles as like a blush and highlight. In my opinion, it gives that glowy look that I love. And clearly, I mean, it is gone. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but basically the only thing I have left is a small chunk right here and like a little bit right here, but the rest of it is all pan. And I do want to repurchase this shade because it is my favorite. I do have other shades in the Milani Baked Blushes. I have Red Vino, and then I have 2 matte shades, but I'm probably going to give those matte shades away either to my daughter or throw them away because I think they're probably old, but because I think matte blushes are beautiful, but I never grab them. I don't use them as much in the end, so I just always lean for the shimmery ones. So anyways, I love it, and I'm going to finish this up because I need to. Why not finish it up and just purchase a new one, because these are affordable and they're really great. Rose d'Oro is a shade I don't feel like you hear a lot about, but I think it's an amazing, beautiful shade. Most people talk about Luminoso from Milani, which I haven't tried, but I might even try grabbing that one too. I don't know, but I might just go ahead and repurchase the Rose d'Oro one. Okay, so the next items I have hit pan on are some face powders, and this is the Milani Multitasker powder in the shade Light Medium, and I've hit some major pan on it, so it's like it's done for. But I actually have a backup of this that I've already started using, because usually when it gets down to this, I like really can't do anything with it, because I actually like to use this with a sponge, and it's what I use to kind of clean up my contour and things like that. But this is one that I'm not afraid to use up and go through. I've gone through probably, I'd say 10 of these at least. When I purchased these, I actually ordered them online, because even though my CVS sells Milani products, I can never find this powder in stock at the store, so I always order online. And since I'm purchasing online, I usually order in bulk, so I usually order about 3 or 4 at a time. So I always have backups of these, and they're very affordable. It's one of my very favorite drugstore pressed powders. It's amazing. I love it. So I've hit pan on it, and I've gone through several of them. Then another one is this that I fell in love with, I think, this summer. This is the Urban Decay Illuminizer Translucent Pressed Beauty Powder. I've hit pan on this. I was using this every day as well in the summer. It was my go-to. I'd use it again with a sponge as well, and I'd use it under my eyes. I also use it with a brush too. I just love, it's a brightening kind of illuminating powder, but it's not like a shimmer. There's no, like, it's like translucent, but it just gives a brightening effect that I love. And it's very like finely milled. It's very blendable. It's just a really good powder. But again, this is one of the items that, like, when I hit pan on it, I was like, I think I need to stop using this because I'm gonna run out of it, and like I didn't want to run out of it. I can't remember how much it cost, but obviously Urban Decay is going to be a little bit more expensive, so I was like, okay, I got to slow down on using this. And so I love it. I've hit pan on it, but yeah, I kind of stopped using it for those, like I've said, those reasons. But I should keep using it. I need to bring it back into my rotation and use it. But I love this powder. I really recommend if you like brightening powders. Next up is an eyeshadow palette, and I don't have, this is the only one I could find that I actually hit pan on, and this isn't a palette that anyone would know of. It's basically a palette that I created myself, filled with like a lot of the basic shades from NBA Cosmetics. So this, I don't think they sell these palettes anymore like this, but they used to. And so basically I just bought this empty palette and filled it up with single shadows from NBA Cosmetics. I have 3 of these palettes in different colors, but this is my like neutral toned ones shadows, and I wrote down the shadow names here. But this is basically the palette that I would use daily. This is my go-to palette for looks when I'm just really quickly doing a very quick basic everyday eye look. And if you can see, I've hit pan on this shade, which is in the nude, and then this one right here, which is called Tranquil. This is the shade I use all the time for like my brow bone and just like a basic matte highlight shade. And this is a matte kind of pinky warm toned what am I saying? It's just one I use a lot for transition. I would use this every single day, and I was actually really proud when I hit pan on it. I hit pan on it in one of my videos here, and I felt like, I was like, oh, we hit a milestone together. But those are the only 2 eyeshadows I've actually hit pan on, and so clearly you know that I love the NBA Cosmetics shadows and use them all the time. Next up are some brow products. You guys have seen this a ton in all my videos lately, but this is the It Cosmetics Brow Power Powder, and I hit pan on this, and I don't think I hit pan just because I've used it so much, which I do. I use it almost every day, but Several other brow products that I have, I've used just as long and have never, I mean, who hits pan on brow powders? They last for freaking ever. But this one's just so soft. It kicks up so much product. I feel like a lot of product goes to waste. I talked about this in my top 10 favorite It Cosmetics products. That aside, it's still one of my favorite brow products, but I have hit pan on it and I definitely will be repurchasing. I'm sad that I've hit pan on it so quickly because this is an expensive powder, but it's my favorite. It's just the best in my opinion for what I like. So I will be repurchasing it, but this is one that I'm extremely sad that I've hit pan on already. And then the other one is a brow product from NBA Cosmetics. It's one of their brow whip gels in the shade Cool Taupe. And I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can kind of see that I've hit pan on it. I fell in love with this. This is more like a gel or a pomade kind of product, kind of similar to like the Anastasia pomade and things like that, the Build-A-Brow from It Cosmetics. Fell in love with this, and I actually ordered a backup because I'm always getting stuff from NBA Cosmetics. Love the brand, work for the brand. But anyways, funny enough, I ordered a backup of this product because I knew it was running out. It was almost gone. And then I changed the way I did my brows completely and then never went back to using pomade type kind of brow products. So there's an interesting story right there. But anyways, I did hit pan on that. I think if you like those kind of pomade products, these brow whips from NBA Cosmetics are really, really great. And I think they're just $11, so they're pretty affordable too. And I recommend. I like them a lot. Okay, so I have a couple more items here left, but I don't know if they really count that much. One is just this. It's more of an empty. If I did empties, I used to do empties videos all the time, and I don't do them anymore. But I figured I would just throw it in there anyways because it's a product I love. But this is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Hydrating Primer. And I use it all up. I love this. This is a hydrating primer and a nourishing primer, and they're both like in this whiter packaging. There's other ones that are like in a gray packaging or a black packaging, but this one's my favorite. I love the hydrating and I love the nourishing one, but I use this one all up. This is again one, I don't do primers, face primers a lot, very often. I just don't like the way they feel and I don't feel like I need them, but this is one that I love the way it feels. It feels more like a lotion or a face moisturizer, but yet it still does help keep your, like, prolong the wear of your makeup, so I love that. And again, it was one that I was like, I don't want to use up because they're expensive to buy, but I was like, I love it so much that I kept using it. And I do have backups of it, so that's another reason why I wasn't too afraid to use it up, but there you go. And then I have two foundations, which again, I don't know if that counts as like a panning since these aren't pans. Well, this one's a pan. But this is a foundation from NBA Cosmetics. It is one of their cream foundations, and this is one that I used a lot in the summer. The shade is Soft Butter Rum, which is pretty dark for me, but I used it a lot. I don't love, or didn't used to love, cream foundations, but this is one that kind of is like a cream to powder foundation. I love the way it went on, the way it looked. I used it a lot in the summer. I don't know if I said, but this is from NBA Cosmetics. And I believe they still have these available on their website. I haven't looked in a long time because I just have so many foundations to use and go through, so I haven't repurchased. But I did hit pan on that, and this is what I was pretty proud of as well. And then this is another foundation that I love and will be repurchasing when I go to IMATS, because that's usually, Makeup Forever has good deals usually at IMATS. But this is all that's left of it, and this is one of my very, very favorite foundations. I was actually thinking about doing a top 5 favorite foundations video. This will definitely be in it, but I have other ones that I'd love to share with you guys as well. But that's all I have left. I love this. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Stick, and it is almost gone. I'm gonna be using it up, and I'm gonna be purchasing another one. I love it. I recommend it. It's a great foundation. But anyways, that is it for all the products that I've hit pan on or I'm almost completely done using, and I really hope you found this video enjoyable and maybe helpful. I really would love to hear your thoughts on project panning and panning products and using up products, just anything like that. Let me know if you like these type of videos. If you're into project panning, if you'd like to see more of that from me, I might maybe share a little bit more into it, but let me know your thoughts on this subject, this topic, because I love hearing from you and your guys' opinions. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes.